Subcommittee on National Security, the Border and Foreign Affairs will come to order. Welcome, everyone. Without objection, the chair may declare a recess at any time. I recognize myself for the purpose of making an opening statement. Good morning and welcome to the Subcommittee on National Security, the Border and Foreign Affairs hearing, a dangerous strategy examining the Biden administration failures on Iran. Today we are examining the Biden administration's lack of transparency on Iran and the regime's nuclear program, American hostage negotiations, and the circumstances surrounding the dismissal of the special envoy on Iran, Robert Malley. Signed under the Biden administration, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, or JCPOA, was touted by the left as a fix-all to the Iranian nuclear dilemma. In reality, it did little to rein in the Iranian regime while rewarding it with literal pallets of cash. In May of 2018, the last administration withdrew the United States from the JCPOA due to Iran's continuing bolstering of its ballistic missile program and its funding of terrorist groups around the globe. Then candidate Biden pledged that he would return the United States to the JCPOA, but has since failed to uphold that pledge. Instead, the administration has negotiated in secret, has failed to be transparent with Congress or the American people on negotiations with the Iranian regime. The lack of transparency is occurring despite the Iran Nuclear Agreement Review Act's expansive disclosure requirements. In March of 2023, the International Atomic Energy Agency detected enriched uranium particles at 83.7%, prompting great concern as weapons-grade uranium is enriched at 90% or higher. In addition to its nuclear program, Iran continues work to perfect the ballistic missile program. In May of this year, Iran unveiled its fourth-generation liquid-fuel ballistic missile, which can carry a 1,500-kilogram warhead around 1,200 miles. Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, continues to provide arms, training, and financial support to militias and terrorist organizations in Bahrain, Iraq, Lebanon, Palestine, Syria, and Yemen. In 2020, the State Department estimated that the IRGC provides the terrorist organization Hezbollah $700 million a year in assistance. In 2019, the Trump administration labeled the IRGC a terrorist organization. The IRGC is also known to have funded groups that have used car-side bombs and missile barrages against U.S. forces stationed in the region. Since President Biden took office, Iran or its proxies have attacked U.S. forces in the Middle East almost 100 times. Last month, the White House announced it was negotiating with Iran to permit the unfreezing of $6 billion in sanctioned Iranian assets in exchange for the release of 5 detained Americans. And on Monday, as our nation remembered the horror of September 11th, the administration issued a sanctions waiver, freeing up another $6 billion for the world's largest state sponsor of terrorism. The White House assured the public that the $6 billion could only be used for humanitarian purposes, but Iran has reiterated its position that the Iranian regime will decide how to spend its money. While I believe that it is imperative that we bring home every wrongfully detained American citizen abroad, it is also crucial we ensure that the increase in ransom payments made by the U.S. government does not incentivize hostile nations and groups like Iran to continue to kidnap American citizens. It's also vital that we ensure that these large payoffs, in this case $1.5 billion more than the cost of the USS Reagan aircraft carrier, are not used to fund the IRGC and the proxy terrorist organizations it supports. Finally, the circumstances surrounding the dismissal of Robert Malley, the Biden administration's first special envoy for Iran, are highly unusual. Malley's career has been marked by a long history of appeasement towards adversaries of the U.S. in the Middle East. In 2008, while serving in the Obama administration, Malley was forced to resign after he was found to have repeatedly met with the terrorist organization Hamas. In 2019, Malley also met with Iran's then foreign minister to undermine President Trump's maximum pressure campaign against Iran. More recently, Malley was increasingly absent from official duties and repeatedly ignored congressional briefing requests. The White House subsequently defended Malley, stating that he was taking personal leave, but it has since come to light that the State Department revoked Malley's security clearance and placed him on unpaid leave in June. The United States must counter the destruction and terror that Iran supports and funds around the world. We cannot rely on incompetent or compromised officials to achieve our goals. I look forward to hearing from each of our expert witnesses today on the reality of the dangers we face from the Iranian regime and clear-headed solutions. I'll now recognize Ranking Member